All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're talking about a number that has Wall Street completely captivated and investors everywhere hitting refresh on their screens. Gold isn't just climbing. No, it's absolutely launching into uncharted territory. Just look at that number for a second. $5,042. That right there is the brand new all-time high for a single ounce of gold. It's a huge psychological barrier, a massive financial milestone that just got completely shattered. Okay, so let's dive into how this all went down, because this wasn't some slow crawl upwards. Nope, we are talking about a full-on, record-breaking sprint that has pretty much left analysts scrambling to keep up. Now, what's really wild here is the sheer speed of this jump. Just check out the difference between Friday and Monday. Over a single weekend of trading, gold just blew past the $5,000 mark, and you can see silver wasn't exactly sitting on the sidelines. It surged right over the $100 level for the very first time ever. And to put this all into perspective for you, we haven't seen a weekly gain this big for gold in years. This isn't just another rally. This is a historically huge move, the kind of jump we last saw during the peak uncertainty of the global pandemic back in 2020. Which, of course, brings us to the big question that I'm sure you're asking. Why is this happening? And why now? What on earth is fueling this incredible rush into gold? Well, the simplest answer, the one you'll hear the most, is a classic flight to safety. It's a tale as old as time, really. When the world starts to feel rocky and uncertain, investors run for cover. And for centuries, gold has been the ultimate shelter from the storm. And just so we're all on the same page, a safe haven asset is exactly what it sounds like. It's where you park your money when you're getting nervous about risk in pretty much any other part of the market. And gold, well, gold is the textbook, poster child example of a safe haven. And right now, boy, is there a lot of turbulence out there. We're looking at what you could call a perfect storm of issues. You've got geopolitical flashpoints popping up all over the globe, from Greenland to the Middle East. Then, you mix in some serious questions back home about the Fed's independence and where we're headed with trade policy. Every single one of these is another reason for an investor to say, you know what, I'm going to buy some gold. But here's the thing, and this is really the key takeaway. This isn't just about today's scary headlines. If we zoom out a little bit, we can see there's a much larger, more fundamental shift happening just beneath the surface. This rally has much, much deeper roots. And this slide, wow, this just illustrates that shift perfectly. Just look at the difference in central bank buying habits. Before 2022, they were picking up, on average, about 17 tons of gold a month. Now, they're buying 60 tons a month. That's not a short-term reaction, that is a long-term strategic shift. And it's being led by central banks in emerging markets. And it's not just the central banks either. The demand for gold has gotten so much broader. You've got huge amounts of money pouring into Western ETFs, which are basically just funds that trade like stocks but hold physical gold for you. You've got wealthy families buying up actual physical gold bars. And then on top of all that, you have strong, steady demand from both the big institutional players and from everyday retail investors. It feels like everyone wants in. Goldman Sachs makes an absolutely crucial point here. These moves into gold, they aren't just temporary hedges that are going to disappear when the news cycle moves on. They've become sticky. So what does that mean? It means these deep-seated worries about things like long-term fiscal sustainability, they're now basically baked into the market. It's created a new, higher floor for the price of gold. And that concern, the fear that governments are taking on too much debt, potentially weakening their currencies, well, that makes a real tangible asset like gold look that much more attractive. So, given this new reality, the $5,000 question is, where does the price go from here? Has gold already peaked, or is this really just the start of something even bigger? Let's take a look at what the experts are forecasting. As you can see, the big banks seem to think there's still more gas in the tank. Union Bank Air Privé is calling for $5,200 by the end of the year. And Goldman Sachs, they just raised their forecast to an even more bullish $5,400. The consensus here is pretty clear. Whatever forces are pushing gold higher, they are not expected to just fade away. And that really leaves us with this one final thought. You know, a record high gold price isn't just some abstract number for traders to get excited about. It's a signal. It's a message. So as gold is reaching for the stars, maybe the most important question we can ask ourselves is, what is it telling us about the stability of the ground right here beneath our feet?